We've played every mission of the mainline Halo video games, and now we're playing every mission from the rest of the games in the franchise in chronological order. Each episode will be discussing our experiences and sprinkling in a little lore along the way. If you'd like to play along and have your thoughts read on the show, email us at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved on Twitter. We'll be playing the Arcadia Outskirts mission from Halo Wars on the next episode. If you like what you hear and want to support the show, visit Podcast Evolved on Patreon. This episode, we're debriefing the Arcadia City mission from Halo Wars. I'm your host, Colin Perkins, alongside David Arnold.
Hello, everybody.
And Krista Brown.
Look at the tiny Spartans. Look at them. Aren't they cute? They're so cute.
Babies.
I just want to, give them pats on the head. Oh my god, I love them.
Last mission was Relic Interior. Inside the mysterious Forerunner site, Professor Anders activated a map that appeared to be the reason the Covenant continued their campaign on Harvest. The investigation was abruptly interrupted by a retaliation force set on covering the Covenant's tracks and eliminating the UNSC menace. The Spirit of Fire quickly deployed a pair of Grizzly super tanks to rescue Forge, Anders, and the trapped Marines. The rolling beast beat back the Coveys, squashed countless wormies, and escorted the UNSC personnel back to safety. In Arcadia City, following the information Professor Anders extracted from the Forerunner relic, the Spirit of Fire left Harvest and traveled to Arcadia. Upon arrival, they discovered the planet is under attack by the Covenant. Sergeant Forge is deployed to the surface to aid in the civilian evacuation, led by a trio of Spartan 2s. Enter Red Team. The date of the game...
They're not red.
Date of
They're
the
like
game is
yellow.
February 9th, 2531. David, take us through this cutscene. What's happening?
Hello, yellow team. Ew.
Gross.
They are like a green,
Ew.
yellowy... Yeah.
They're yellow. They're just yellow. So this cutscene's really cool. So it pretty much picks up where you think I was wrong in saying that. I thought it was a galaxy map, but in fact it was a specific map of a specific system that Anders quickly identifies as Arcadia and the Arcadia system. So they're like, wait, what? We're here at Harvest. We're here to fight and liberate Harvest. And she wants to go to Arcadia. Now, Arcadia is something we kind of loosely would have heard of in Halo lore. I think some of the books might have mentioned it and stuff like that, but you wouldn't really know it's there. They quickly tell you it's kind of like a paradise planet. It's what they're kind of like a holiday kind of planet, beachy kind of like it's a nice place.
It's a vacation planet.
That's the word I was looking for. It's a vacation planet. It's going to got a couple of million population. It hasn't been hugely explored. Very much a nice place to be.
If
and
Hawaii
kind of
was a planet.
Yeah, that kind of vibe. And the dynamics here are very interesting between Anders, Cutter, and Serena. So Anders is very passionate and wants to go there. Cutter is like, no, we're here for this mission. But he's very easily won over by Anders and her conviction that whatever the Covenant were here to do, it has to do with Arcadia. And they were here before us, so who knows what they know. I don't actually know how they know where to go next. But anyway, Anders knows that we need to go to Arcadia. Convinces Cutter. Cutter is like, yeah, straight away. Okay, fine. Set course for Arcadia and I'll clear it with Lord Hood. Or Cole, sorry. With Admiral Cole. Which is a nice shout out because Admiral Cole is a bit of a badass.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know him from other Halo stories. So Serena then says, aye, Captain, going to the initiating crazy plan to... how does she word it? She's like, the crazy plan to
initiating
go to
like
Arcadia,
a crazy... It's initiating crazy plan to go to Arcadia for no reason or something like that.
And Anders is having none of it. And she's like, Serena, get out of my lab. Like, there is no love lost between these two characters.
The snark is strong.
100%. Then we get a pretty much Fade to Black open up. We're in Arcadia, everybody. Yay. Wait a minute. The Covenant are already here.
Everything's on fire.
And we're like, holy crap. The planet's already under attack. So Cutter immediately is trying to assess the situation. He says, okay, there's 4 ships that are already here. You have the Belfast, Yay, Belfast. We have Pillar of Autumn.
What?
Sounds familiar. We have the Armstrong. And why am I blanking on the fourth? Damn it, I should have had it.
Texas.
I was doing so well. Texas. Excellent, there we go. The Belfast and the Texas are destroyed. They pretty much get wiped out. And the Pillar of Autumn is heavily damaged, and the Armstrong is also heavily damaged. But they managed to take out one of the Covenant ships with its shields down. And the final ship is beginning kind of a ground bombardment, ground operations. So Cutter is pretty much like, okay, we need to get on the ground. And they get a distress call that is pretty much a Marine saying, the Covenant are here, aliens are here, they're killing us, masters. We're trying to retreat, but we're struggling. And then eventually, as they get closer, they get a video feed, and it's really grainy. You don't really know what's going on. It's kind of cutting across. Cutter is watching this on his screen, and then you get like the beautiful. This is probably not the best intro for these, but let's just say it's a intro. But you get the monks theme of Halo, and then you see Spartans running across. Not one, two,
good.
3 Spartans running across, which is like, holy crap, why are Spartans there? Cutter, I don't know if he knows what they are, but straight away he's like, okay, red alert, we're on the ground, go, drop the pods.
Yep.
And I was like, oh shit. Do you know what I mean? He's all business once he sees the Spartans. So thought that was quite fascinating.
You get a good sense of urgency, and the music picks up too. It's like, oh crap, we gotta get down there now.
Yeah, 100%. And then that's the scene. Then we're done. We're into the game.
Yep, very nice. Yeah, it's good. It's a long cutscene, but very good. Setting the tone. It's only a couple days, so it's what we were on February 4th, I think, and now it's the 9th. So Arcadia must be fairly close from a slip space travel standpoint. It's not that really matters, but it's just a note. Good point. As we're talking about lore and whatnot. So let's go over the mission objective. I guess anything to add, Krista, on the cutscene?
It's beautiful.
Yes,
I don't know. I mean,
it sure is.
You pretty much hit all the major beats.
Okay, cool. Let's get into the objectives then. The main objectives here are to clear Covenant from the subway exit. So as you kind of get down into the map, you'll see Forge, and he's chatting with Cutter. Forge has his hog, with Goss hog, and then I think you have 4 total Hornets, and then you kind of fly over the map, and you see how the Covenant is invading, and the Covenant is just killing civilians. They're just, just taking them out, and the goal is to escort civilians that are kind of coming out of this subway area all the way to these what are they called? Rescue ships. So cargo transports, I think, is what they call them. So the first objective is to clear the Covenant from the subway exit, and then the next objective is just to protect the civilians and the cargo transports themselves until they launch, and then you will eventually get a countdown timer in a little bit. The optional objectives are kill 50 elites, and when that happens, that's when you pop the skull. Another optional objective, I guess you could beat this somehow without establishing a base. I don't know how that's optional.
I don't know. There's no way.
Then establish a second base, rescue 500 civilians, and then the final optional objective is to rescue 1,000 civilians.
I was so close.
Yeah.
I had 400 on one and 500 on another, and it was maybe 400 and 500 would change. So I was maybe 30 civilians short. I was so pissed off.
Oh no.
So do the countdown, because when the countdown at the very end of the mission, and we'll go over that, it's stressful, right? You're like, come on, I just need a couple.
100%.
Get up, move faster, you sons of bitches.
Yeah. This whole mission is very stressful. Stressful.
Especially the first couple times around it is, but once you get your bearings and you know what you're doing, it's not as bad.
Yeah.
You definitely have to learn to just give up on Transport 3 entirely.
Fuck
Transport
I'm pretty.
3.
I was going to ask.
That's scripted.
Is it actually possible?
No.
I'm pretty sure that's scripted, because I got to them and I was like, this took me 2 goals, so I failed the first time, and I realized, Colin, why you said you disliked this map the week before. I was like, yes, I'm not a huge fan of this one, but anyway.
Well, and the problem with the map itself is half the time, if I have any ground units, they're getting stuck on buildings and shit, and they're not able to go straight to where they need to go. The pathing is not very good.
Sure.
It is, yeah, no, it's not very direct. So, do you guys think it was scripted? Because I invested heavily at the start to try and save number 3.
Oh.
And I want to know, did it blow up for you guys too?
I actually looked it up, and 3 will always blow up. 3 is a scripted one that blows up, so you just have to like give up on 3 immediately and focus on 1 and 2.
Yep. Yeah, it's
I should have done
scripted.
that.
Yep, it's handy information to know if you, especially again, this is not the one that I stuck with. Well, let's go through the rest here. I go through the objectives, toy box, then we'll go a little bit more into our experiences before we get too deep into it. Okay, so rescue the 1,000 civilians. That is not easy. So that final optional objective. The part time is 21 minutes to 23 minutes, and I'm not exactly sure.
I don't
when the
think you
timer
can
starts.
go over time.
Yeah, you can. The timer is set, but maybe it doesn't start until you clear the initial wave.
That's right. Yeah, you could spend ages doing nothing at the start of the game.
Yeah. So
that makes sense. I was confused because I'm like, this whole mission's timed. Why am I getting a time bonus?
Right. Okay, so 21 to 23 minutes is the time. Scoring goals. So to get gold, you need 50,000 and above. Silver is 40 to 50. Bronze is 30 to 40. Tin is 0 to 30. So you need a hefty score even to get into that bronze category. Theoretical best score is 80,000 points.
Whew.
How'd you guys do, David?
55,400, baby.
Very nice.
Bringing in
That's
the
a goal. Good for you.
Bringing in-
Krista.
56 even. Hey.
Ooh, nice. Okay,
Mr. Perkins?
so I
You were
I
on
bested
heroic.
you. I bested you, but I played this mission probably like 10 times.
Oh, this was
'Cause
my third try.
I needed to get gold, so my entry score is going to be 33,880. That's what I enter for mission debrief, so I lose this time. But my high score was 70,100.
Oh, very
After
nice.
I played it and played it and played it and played it again, and finally figured out like everything perfectly.
Oh, was that your first score, the 33?
It was like my third score,
Oh, okay.
something like that. Yeah. So that's my submission to the podcast.
Aww.
But I'm gonna try to get gold on all of these. It's just a matter of like how high up I get. I was surprised because what got me up there, the mission, the one I did before, I think was in the 40 range. I didn't quite have gold, but I didn't get that last 100,000 civilians. I didn't get that last optional objective, and then the multiplier didn't kick in as high for me. So once I did get that, because I got that, that's why I got up to 70.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was the only one I didn't get when I got gold. I was really pissed off. I was happy with
But
my
you still
score,
got gold.
but I was still
Yeah,
like,
you still got gold. That's good.
I was still
didn't
like,
think
I
it was
just wanted that one. If I got that one last one, I would have gotten something way higher. And you're playing this on heroic, right?
Heroic.
Above normal,
Yes.
it's just so annoying. Like, normal's annoying enough, but playing on heroic or legendary, like, on legendary, the whole thing is literally just, don't give a shit about the civilians, don't pick one transport and just do that one the entire time and spam heals on it.
Mm-hmm.
And literally just throw all of your units, like, just onto the transport and just keep them there.
So the modifications, speaking of, so on easy it says all enemy units have 50% less health points and inflict 50% less damage. There is no Covenant Mega Turret at the very end on easy. On heroic, the Covenant Mega Turret attacks any UNSC forces during the last leg of the mission, which is what I was dealing with.
It's like
And
1 minute of it, though, right?
Yeah, it's not too bad, but they were bombarding my base and stuff.
Oh, after the minute, I gave up on my base and just had all my units, like, at the,
Oh, 100%. I didn't even realize. I was like, I remember they said something about a cannon, and I was like, oh shit. And I never saw anything.
Mhm.
But then at that stage, I had got everybody out of the base.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Legendary says all enemy units have 25% more health and inflict 25% more damage. Covenant Mega Turrets attack any UNSC forces during the last leg of the mission. Okay, that's just a carryover from heroic. There you go. Krista, why don't you take us through our toy box? And
we got a
we'll
lot
go
of
through.
fun stuff. I feel like you don't have really enough time to use everything. So you kind of have to pick and choose a little bit, but you get a lot of stuff. So, of course, we have our hero units. We have Forge. We know Forge. He starts off in his Warthog. And then we have all of our Spartan 2s. Unfortunately, Yeah.
Spartan 2s?
Yeah, they get to help us this mission. We can't directly control them in this mission, but we have Jerome, Alice, and Douglas. And something cool that these guys can do that we'll see in the future is that they can take over Covenant vehicles.
Yeah.
So if you're wondering why one of the Banshees has suddenly turned gold and is chilling with your dudes, that's why. It's kind of fun to see too. They just literally like jump onto them and just punch
the animations
them
are great.
Yeah, they just beat the hell out of it and then hop in. It's great.
It's so good.
I didn't watch the full animation. I didn't think I sat there and stared at it. Do you know if like the Covenant unit, like the Elite or whatever's driving, will they fall out or do they just hop in?
They just throw them out.
Okay, that's cool though that they added that.
It kind of looks like a hijack from like Halo 3 is what it looks like, and I think that's probably what it's modeled off after. So you start off with your fire base. You can upgrade to a station and then a fortress. So there are 3 different upgrades you can do. Each one adds 2 more pads, I think.
2 more pads.
You start out with 3,
go to 5,
yeah,
and then go to 7. Yep.
You get your supply pads, your heavy supply pads, your reactor, your advanced reactor. You get some turrets. You can upgrade them for flame for infantry, rail for vehicle, and missile launcher for air. And then warthogs. The warthogs don't have guns, so you have to upgrade them to get the guns, which is kind of annoying.
It's so annoying.
I was thinking, why would they have these warthogs without guns? And I'm like, maybe you can load civilians into them? So one of the missions, I just put them next to civilians, but...
Well, I think in the last mission, David said it's like an RTS mechanic, like a scout mechanic.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense in this one.
It's like you don't have a gun right away, but you can go clear the fog and then see what's out there. Meanwhile, you can be adding the gun as an upgrade if you want. So it is.
I don't know. I think it would be cool to have like a vehicle that can like shuttle some of the people back and forth, so you can have them doing
like
that.
A troop carrier, because they have troop hogs. That's the thing.
Which is literally a hog without a gun, which is what I thought it was.
Well,
but
it's got the little roll cage in the back too. So
whatever. So you can get barracks, so you can get Marines and flamethrower guys, upgrade them so they're super shiny. Vehicle depot. Depot. I'm just reading the script, oh my god. Scorpion, we all know and love. The Cobra, and we get the Wolverine. What? So freaking helpful for those goddamn Banshees. Those were what was killing my my shuttles.
This is what I should have done.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally forgot about the Wolverine.
So the one that I got a good score on, I made 3 Wolverines. I put two on one because one got a hell of a ton of Banshees all the time, and I put one on 2. And then I just did whatever else I was doing, but it helped so much. The most annoying thing is that when you kill the Banshees, they can crash into your supply carrier.
Oh, I hate that so much.
Oh, it's really annoying, and it takes a huge chunk of health too, which sucks. We get an air pad in this one. I'm not sure if you noticed, but we start with some vehicles that are not on the ground, but in the air.
What?
Yeah.
Air pad?
Yeah.
Interesting. Tell me more about these units.
They're Hornets, one of our favorite vehicles from Halo 3, and they shoot guys, but in the air.
Right.
That's about the difference. But the really OP thing about air units in Halo Wars is that not a lot of vehicles are very effective against them, especially as we get later into the game. So they're one of the best things to have, is just a shit ton of Hornets and like a couple like Scorpions. Yeah, when you upgrade them, you get an extra gunner with a rocket launcher.
The way they move around, too, does remind me of like a little swarm, which is cool.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, and also...
They look really good together.
And they're so good on this map, because all of the stupid things down in the streets don't affect them, and they can just fly over water and stuff like that.
They can get there quick.
Yeah, because when I was starting out making my base and stuff, I would instantly put down some Marines and stuff, and they're so ineffective on this map. Just regular Marines.
I will say, I did the one thing that I generally haven't done in this game. I garrisoned my Marines in those platforms.
Yep, that helps.
And they kicked ass in there. They did so well for me.
I didn't realize that was a good idea until it took me forever to take down like an elite that was in one of those platforms.
Yes,
like,
that's exactly what I thought.
This guy is taking forever.
I had my 6 Hornets shooting at this, and I was like, why is he still alive?
Right.
I'm like, okay, I'm putting my dudes in there, and they cleaned up. They did super well.
And they light the way on the map too, so you can kind of see everything that's going on around them.
Oh, that's such a good idea, Because then
Yeah.
it also prevents the Covenant from getting into them, because it's really annoying when they get into them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I should have done that. So we have a new building. It's called the Field Armory.
Mm-hmm.
The Field Armory has a bunch of nice stuff, like reinforcements that gives you plus 10 to your population.
That's
Like,
handy.
holy shit, it's so nice. Reserves gives you
This-
some extra...
It's faster building. Is
yeah.
What that is. So
Okay.
your build training will be done faster. Yep.
Yeah. Turret upgrades. They're turret upgrades, but they actually are really nice later on in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Upgraded...
Like there's a medium and then a large, I think.
Yes. Adrenaline. Does it make your units spawn faster? Is that what that is?
More health.
More health.
Dave, more
Okay.
health.
More health for the units. And then carpet bomb upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
We get a carpet bomb.
Carpet bomb.
So that's from. That must be coming from the Spirit of Fire?
Yeah. Yeah, you get all your
You get a
Spirit of
bu-
Fire
yeah.
abilities.
You get I think the carpet bomb is actually like, is it longswords or something like that come down and
Yes.
drop them? I don't think it's not. It's like a strafing run.
Oh,
It's
that's
not
You
like
see the
a
units
direct
come
fire
down.
from.
That makes sense. Yep.
It's
Yeah.
really nice when you're just in a kind of a pinch. Like, units are attacking your base and you don't have anyone nearby. You can just carpet bomb them.
But I think you need to have
You-
sight of it, right? You have to have.
Yeah, but if
you
it's
gotta be out of the
attacking your
fog.
base,
Yeah.
your base has
sense.
sight.
You get some really cool leader powers that I actually totally forgot about
Like,
in this game. So you can heal, which is very
the
useful
healing,
for like,
the healing heals the
healing your-
carriers.
Yeah.
Like,
which is what you should be doing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there is the carpet bomb, like you said, Chris. There's also the pelican transports. Did you guys use this? Because I totally
What?
forgot about
That
it.
wasn't in this one for me.
It was available. It was in the wheel. I never tried to select
Oh,
it, but you
was?
can
I didn't see it.
you can bring in pelicans. They'll pick up marines, and then you tell them where to go, and they'll drop them down there.
Oh, that sounds actually
It's-
kind of nice, but
Oh.
also kind of a waste
Yeah.
of resources. That's like at the very end
100%.
when you need to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I didn't use it, but like it was there. It was in the wheel,
And then you have the ODST drops. Woo!
which is my
Yeah.
favorite thing in this game that I wish I remembered to use on this map because they're so
It
good.
doesn't cost quite a bit though. Isn't it like 800 or something like that?
It is, and you have to have like a lot of power,
Yeah, you
and
gotta have
you
some
have to
lightning
have
bolts.
the population to support
Oh
them.
right, yeah. So it adds quite a few.
That's what got me caught near the end when I remembered it, and I was like, oh my god, I'm bringing down ODSTs,
Mhm.
and I didn't have the population. I was like, god damn it.
That makes sense. What's on the Covenant side, Krista?
We got a lot of nice Covenant stuff. Elites, Grunts, Jackals, Hunters. We've all seen that. Really nice. We have some Shade turrets and those towers we were talking about earlier. A lot of Spirit
There's
drop
two kind.
ships.
There's two kind of towers. There's like
the Covenant
that we're used
towers.
to, and then there's like this like platform, like city structural type tower as well.
It's essentially like almost like a cherry
Kind
picker,
of like
or
that.
like
Yeah.
Well, and you can totally just destroy the Covenant towers as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice.
Well,
We
you
have
can they fold down, but then you can put somebody back in once
you
you.
can
Oh,
garrison
yeah,
into them
okay.
if you want to.
Spirit drop ships.
Mhm.
Spirit drop ships. I mean, you can blow them up. It's really satisfying. Very nice.
Yes.
We have some fun ground vehicles: ghosts, wraiths, and I don't think locusts are on normal.
Yeah, I saw.
Oh,
locusts.
okay. I didn't see a locust at all.
They don't. There is an enemy base in this map in
Yep.
the top right hand corner.
Mhm.
If you try and attack it, there is a shit ton of stuff up there, and I found locusts up there because I tried once and got wiped.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
So
oh,
it's
yeah,
just
they're
supposed to
gotta do-
like sit there.
They're
you know,
bastards on
Yeah.
heroic.
Oh yeah. We have
Although
some.
it's fun to see one of the Spartans hijack the locust.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I'd say.
Not very good for this mission though. We don't want to even deal with locusts.
Mhm.
We have air units. We have banshees and vampires.
What?
Ooh, so vampires are called the Type 29 Close Support Fighter. It's a atmospheric anti-aircraft fighter. So it's just an
Okay.
anti-aircraft unit in the air.
It's a hefty banshee. I mean, it looks different, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of like a
okay.
flatter. It's almost shaped kind of like a claw.
I totally noticed that and was like, that's a weird looking banshee, and then carried on with my day. I didn't realize it was actually something different. Because it was doing strafing runs. It wasn't like hovering. It was just kind of bombing things and kept going.
Oh, okay.
Or at least that's what it looked
Yeah.
like it does. Maybe it was shooting my hornets.
I don't
Anyway.
I don't like them. They're not very nice.
No,
That's for
they're very
sure.
mean.
They are.
Bunch of
Banshee- I'd
bullies.
rather fight banshees.
Yeah. Banshees are just look cooler as well. I mean, come on. And finally we have the Mega Turret, which we talked about earlier. You don't really get to... Can you see the Mega Turret, or does it just fire at you?
If you go over to the base, you can see him.
Oh, okay. It literally is just like giant balls of plasma that they hit your base with and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Mega Turret, I think the Mega Turret's in the next mission too. I did do one dry run on the next mission.
How dare you? How dare you work ahead?
Spoilers, Colin.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, cool. All right, let's now we've kind of given you some tips and some thoughts of the overall mission. David, why don't you start and kind of take us through how you attack this mission with Forge in the start and like kind of your approach to like how did you find success?
Yes, I will tell you about my successful run. And pretty much because I've forgot about a lot, but I did remember about the veterancy. Mm-hmm. I heavily invested in keeping the first 6 Hornets alive, and they were so powerful by the end of my game. You got 6 on normal.
Oh, I had 4.
And it's in the trivia.
That's nice.
Yeah, you get 4 in heroic and legendary. Even though there's 6 in the sequence when you begin. When the actual game starts, you only get 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I kept those bad boys alive and just bounced them all over the map, killing things constantly. I always was moving those Hornets. I used Forge to kind of clear the map and shoot some things, but he was pretty useless in this game, in this mission, to be honest. Once I got a base, like I said, I immediately... Well, the first time I did try and save number 3, but like when it died, I was like, oh, F this. And I heavily invested in 1, because that actually is the next one that gets under attack, and they almost always go there. So I was kind of, okay, send some Marines, garrison them around in like a few places around 2 and 1.
Uh-huh.
And then pretty much spent the game bouncing around, using lots of health, using that leader power over and over again to heal my my Hornets, and I used them just to kick everybody's ass. They cleaned up. Six Hornets just cleaned up on this map. For me, nice. I decided not to go near the base this time. I built the 2 bases, a shit ton of supply pads, 1 or 2 research stations, power plants, and I did build 2 Scorpions in the end of the game. Because I was like, oh wait, there's vehicles on this game.
Oh right.
Do you know what I mean? So like, I was like, oh yeah, I better build a vehicle. Because I didn't remember what happened at the end. I thought like it was a big wave of enemies as opposed to a turret shooting. So I was like, I better get ready for what actually is coming at me. And it didn't really increase too heavily. I will say I thought the Spartans were like really disappointing in terms of support. You couldn't overly rely on them. The best thing they could do was take a vehicle. But like,
well, then they just sit by the transports anyway, so it's kind of hard to use them.
Yeah, you can't overly rely on them. But that's pretty much all I did. I abandoned the base near the end. I was trying to get
So you just did 1 base?
I did 2 bases. I did do 2 bases. One of them was just generating
money.
Money for me.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean? That's all I did with it.
And so, which one did you start with? The one that was in the kind of southwest.
The one lower end. The one that's not near because the one at the top is very near the Covenant base. Okay. No, I did build that up and put turrets all around it because it was like an area that got attacked, but I didn't really care. Okay. So it was fine. And then I succeeded. So yeah, you mean.
And you ended up, so you got the 1,000 civilians too?
I never checked. I totally forgot.
But you got a goal.
I don't think so.
I got most of the objectives.
Yeah, I think so. But I don't think I got 1,000. I'd be surprised.
He would have had a lot more because I got ahead of him and I didn't have 1,000 either.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I would have gone. I also would have gone normal.
And you just kind of cleared the west side of the map mostly.
Yeah, I just held. I just held the 2 points.
And sorry, I missed. Did you have both transports or just 1 transport at the end?
I had both transports.
You did, okay.
By the way, no, very very close at one stage. Also, there is an achievement in this about like the better win or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. Beside the black box,
yes, Adam.
There's Adam, exactly. I never knew this, so I only saw him when I was looking up. And I was like, I'm gonna try this. So I rescued Adam, so that was nice. I got achievement for it, so I was happy with it.
Very nice of you.
You get to save this little kid essentially.
Yep.
As like a
you can kind of scroll. You scroll over the middle of the map, and you hear this woman say, "Adam, has anybody seen Adam?" And you're like, "What is going on?" And then you will, if you kind of go into the center of the map, you'll see right where the black box is, and then a little structure that you can mouse over, and you can eject a little kid from the subway,
What?
I guess. Uh-huh.
I never knew that.
The strategy guide says that Adam is coming out of... Well, the strategy guide says that you can actually see him in the walkway, which I played it multiple times. I couldn't see him. There's like, there's buildings, and there's like a skyway that connects some of the buildings. I was in the middle of playing. I tried to glance at it. I didn't see him in there. But it claims that you can see him in the walkway above. But yeah, so you eject this little kid out, and this little black, shirted kid pops out, and he like starts running, and if he gets hit by anything, he dies. So
fuck!
You have to clear the path either beforehand or eject him, and then run ahead of him and clear out any Covenant that are in the way, and he'll run to transport 1, I think. I forget which one.
He goes to 2.
Okay, 2.
Yeah, he did for me anyway. I used the Hornets to kind of keep him alive, and it was cool.
Yep.
And it was one, so there we go.
I have to do that.
Yeah, save Adam. You get 5 achievement points. It's totally worth it.
Totally worth it.
5 whole Chivo points.
Krista, how about you?
Delicious.
What was your successful run?
My successful run, at that point I knew where the bases were spawning, so when Transport 3 explodes, I just put a Hornet on each of those platforms, so once it pops up, I can immediately buy both of them. Mm-hmm. And then I just go back, I just send the Hornets back to do whatever they need to do. I start spamming a bunch of supply pads, and then what is it called? A
reactor?
Armory. No, not an
Full
armory.
armory.
A firebase. No.
Well, the firebase is the main structure. The barracks?
Yes, I'm sorry, the
Okay.
barracks. Yeah, I throw up a barracks so that I can get at least a couple Marines out, or else there's gonna be nothing coming out of my bases.
Mm-hmm.
And then build up 2 reactors, get a vehicle depot, Wolverine, 3 of those, couple Scorpions, and then
So you skipped over the Scorpion builds right away? You waited for the Wolverine?
Yeah, I waited for the Wolverine. I got I did the Wolverine right away instead, just because every time my transport would explode, it was because of Banshees, so I was just like, screw it, I'm getting a bunch of Wolverines this time.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh, by the way, just to there are failure states, right? So if both cargo ships blow up,
you die.
Then you're done. You need to try again. And then if all your units are dead. So you can have bases up and ready, but if all of your units that are on the map die, then you also have to restart.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Boo.
Yeah, that sucks.
So anyway, continue.
Sometimes I kill all my units just for fun. What the fuck? Okay, and then got some Scorpions, and then just filled the rest of my population count with Hornets. And then once I had extra money, I just did the field armory and did reinforcement, so I could just spam out a couple more tanks.
Yep, get the 40 total units then.
And I repaired those bitches so much.
Yeah. I had to repair on Heroic. I had to use the repair right away. So my initial clearing, where I was clearing down the subway area, and then I was kind of helping them get to the initial cargo ship before cargo ship 3 blows up, the scripted event. I had to heal my my Forge and Hornets pretty much right away in order to keep them around the entire time.
I always kept Forge near one of those things so that I could keep him healed. I was able to keep him in the Warthog the entire time, which was nice.
Yep, that's huge. You kind of have to do that if you want to get a high score, I think.
Yeah,
he comes in handy.
He can go around and get all the supplies when you're starting to build up too, which is really nice. He's the only unit that can do it that you spawn with.
He was helpful on Wraiths for me. Whenever I ran the Wraith, I would
just ram the Wraith. Yeah.
Yeah. That was nice. So let's see here. Were you using all units, or were you doing, local units and sending out a couple squads? What were you doing?
I positioned a couple people on both transports, and then in the middle of the map, I put my rally point where everything that was new just went to, and that was just kind of my main units. So I would, whenever something needed killed, I would highlight all of them, take care of a couple things, and just put them right back in the middle of the map. Mm-hmm. And then I just did it like that. I found it a little easier. Every once in a while, I'd sprinkle, I'd have a couple Hornets on each thing, and they'd be kind of sprinkled out. They wouldn't be directly on the transport. They'd be kind of sprinkled around so that they could get a little more stuff. But Most of it was just this main unit that I was having go back and forth between stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I found myself feeling rushed because there is the countdown timer. And so for the most part, I defaulted to like just having everybody, you know, and especially when like you would all of a sudden get an urgency message, I think they're called, from one of the
Oh yeah, they're
planes.
like, I'm about to die, and they're not
Yeah.
even at half health. I'm like, oh, shut up.
And well, then when I hear that, one of those two, I'm like, all units go there. You know, like that's just the easiest thing to do. I wasn't as good as I was in the last mission of kind of splitting them up into different groups.
Well, it's
But,
definitely a lot of chaos.
Yeah, it feels stressful. I think when I found success and finally got my high score, it's like, okay, I don't have to rush. I just want to take my time, make sure I'm being smart about what I'm building, going out, clearing all the Covenant on the west side of the map, because that was a big problem for me when I wasn't getting a high enough civilian rate, or one of my cargo planes was getting destroyed, is because I just kind of forgot about all the Covenant that are hidden on the west side of the map.
Yeah.
There's hunters, and there's a race that show up over there, and a bunch of elites in the towers, and dropships do come and replenish that side of the map as well. So if you don't clear that out right away, then you'll run into some problems.
I just kept looking at the map for the just big purple dots that show up to let you know where the Covenant are, and then once
Yeah.
I notice one, I just go and take them out.
Yep.
Because you can't really do much. You can do a lot about the spirits, but it's going to take all your time to make sure all your units are chasing them down. It's much easier to have them drop the units and then just go clean them up.
Yep. Yeah. Did you get the skull too?
No, I didn't grab the skull. I'm lazy.
The skull is when you kill the 50 elites, which shouldn't be a problem. You just kind of do that naturally. The skull is on the right under where the big base is for the Covenant. So there's like a statue that's standing. So you have to go kind of the far side of the right, which you don't really want to go over there.
Yeah.
Because you know that's where they're coming from. But you can go over there and then it'll pop up. So you just walk over there. I think when I ended up actually getting it, it was like, I remembered it was a thing at the very end of the mission, like during the countdown. And I had like one flame arena. I was just like, you, go over there. And he grabbed it
like,
within the last like 10
okay.
seconds of the countdown. Yeah. It's like, go, buddy, run. But he got that for me, which I was pretty excited about. And the skull, do you know what the skull is?
What's the skull?
The skull is Wuv Wu, and the actually write up is all these aren't none of these have been difficulty modifiers yet, but this one is scarabs shoot a rainbow made of pure love and hearts.
Oh,
Isn't that good?
how lovely! I want to be killed with love. I didn't know the
I
Covenant
know.
loved me so much.
So you need to go get that, and then I'm assuming we see a scarab at some point. It'll be fun to see how that.
Oh,
It
I
looks
think
on
we
screen.
do.
Mm-hmm.
At least
Anything-
one.
Anything else on your run?
No, that's about it, honestly.
Okay, very nice. I probably played this about 10 times, and like
What?
I want to get, but I was playing on heroic. Is more difficult. I did, wipe once or twice because it just didn't work out, or I got frustrated because things didn't go my way right away.
Oh, every time
'cause I was
one of
trying
the
to perfect it.
transports would explode, one or two, I'd just restart the mission anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Or if I found I really needed Forge's Warthog, if his Warthog blew up, then I was like, okay, I gotta restart. And this is towards the end when I'm like, okay, I need to get gold. So I played it multiple times, and where I found success is, and this mission's stressful, but it also does teach you a lot on like the best order to build your buildings in the most efficient way.
Yeah.
So I built up I went down, cleared the bottom area, then built the fire base on the west side, and I went supply reactor, then went over to the other one and did supply reactor, and so I didn't have any additional units for a little while until those got built up. And then I think what I did is expanded to the station to add two more supply pads, and at that point I either added a turret on the east side fire base just to start to protect that, because the Covenant start to come.
Oh
pretty
yeah,
quickly.
it gets beat up pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. So I think I did that, and then added a barracks right away, and then I think I did vehicle depot, and then air pad, and eventually added like the other. Let's see, because you need the third reactor. I think I eventually added the third reactor to one of the two. It's nice that they combine, that you don't have to like build everything in one fire base. It's like they add together. So if you have a reactor in one fire base and a reactor in another fire base, that equals 2 lightning bolts versus them each having to have their.
Oh yeah, it's like an overall kind of.
Yeah. So
cool.
like So like I can't build only scout warthogs in one, but in the other one I can build, the Gosshog. But so that's handy. So I got really good at building those two up, and then I was able to realize that I needed to go clear out all those guys on the west, and then on heroic too, the locusts start to come in, or locust or a horde of wraiths start to come in and attack the cargo ship in the middle. The one closest to the Covenant base.
Oh no, that's one.
And so, okay, that must be one. Yep. So the one closest to the Covenant base. So I needed to go take care of those locusts, and I really only had Forge and my Hornets, and I healed them a couple times right away before I was able to start to build up my base or build up my army. And then I think what I did is then I built a couple pairs of Marines to just kind of go take the towers and kind of plop them in, because that helped me get to my overall 1,000 civilian number. And then once I kind of had some of that secure, then I started to pump out like a Scorpion, and then I did need to have... I use Cobras because in Heroic, those Locusts are bastards, and those Cobras will just take them down in like 2 or 3 shots. So I would go plant a Cobra right outside of Transport 2, and like on the path that the Covenant would need to take to get up there from their base. So I would just plant one there, and that guy would just take care of anything coming my way from the Locust and Wraith standpoint. So I do that, and then eventually at the very end I built some Wolverines to kind of come up and take down their air units, which was super helpful. But yeah, I wasn't able to get gold on Heroic until I finally got all the optional objectives, and that's when I hit my 70.
Hey.
So yeah, whew. But yeah, this mission is it's frustrating on the higher levels, and I think I talked about it on one of the other episodes. Is like I want to be able to get gold on all these, and it's totally doable. But that little carrot of I got 10 on this. What? That means I can do so much better. It is just having that goal to look forward to forces you to get better at building and moving your units around and all that. You said you didn't even go up to the top, right, to see the Covenant base?
Nah, I didn't really need to.
You don't want to go up there. It's fully decked out, and if you go up there will be a ton of vehicles, and then at the very end when those mega turrets spawn, you can see those bastards too. I thought about at one point, maybe I'll go back just for fun to see if there's any chance that you can go up there and start to like destroy that base. But the way that
you would have to like ignore the rest of the transports.
Well, you never have enough units in order to go actually attack it. Right? You won't have your army built up big enough. Oh yeah, because
you only have like 30 to start off with. There's no way.
Well, I mean, I had like only 15 units like by the time 10 minutes was gone already. So because I was building up my supplies so much and doing a couple other things, I need to heal Forge and the Hornets. So I wasn't even able to go to like say I would have needed like a full 30 to go shove up in that corner, and then by then who knows if they're actually going to take it down or not, because the Covenant would have been so well geared up at that point. So there's really no point, and I think that's what the mission's kind of telling you. It's like sometimes you just need to let them have their base and deal with everything else that's going on in the map.
Yeah. Well, it's not even really a goal or anything like that.
Yeah,
the game never pushes you that way. You could not even know it's there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you are struggling with this mission, I would say just be patient. You have more time than you think. By the time you're actually, building up your supplies and kind of establishing your bases, by the time you look up, then like you should be in a good enough spot to be able to react to the Covenant and reach all the goals. At the very end, Captain Cutter will pop on. So what happens? The
transports go away.
Transports actually take off, right? And then that's the mission, and then everybody else evacuates. So Cutter says the transports are away. Sergeant Forge, pull back and regroup. New orders are incoming. Forge just replies. He says, "Roger that, Captain. Most of us are heading out of the city through the traffic tunnels," and it kind of shows what that looks like in game. There you go. Very
That's
nice.
it. That's Arcadia
This is a
City.
stressful mission. Yeah. Oof.
It's annoying.
Not my favorite.
Anytime you have to like guard something, it's super annoying.
Well, and you start with so little, and then like you are totally outnumbered, and you have to. It's just a panic situation where you're trying to. And I think the other thing is that you have these civilians that you're trying to save that you have no control over, and they're
so dumb. Like I had 2 scorpions on one of the major paths. I had 2 scorpions just sitting there, and the civilians would not go past them. I had like a bunch of them just standing there because they couldn't path around them. I was like, "Are you joking?"
Well, and Forge has a hard time driving around them too. He won't like drive through them. They're actual objects, so he can't phase through them. At one point, he was like, I sent all my units up to a Wraith. I'm like, "Where's Forge? What the hell's going on?" And he was like back stuck because there was too many civilians between him and the Wraith. He was like driving around in circles trying to get there.
It's really annoying.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is kind of the first time we've really seen civilians get killed in Halo, isn't it? I mean, have we... I mean, maybe
Halo
Reach had a
Reach.
little bit. Reach had some of it, yeah.
You get, like, brutes, like, pick up civilians and, like, shoot them in the face.
Yeah, that's right. But this is... Yeah, so we had it in Reach. And Release Order...
This is like a max, like, a bigger scale.
Yeah, this is a lot of civilians are dying in this.
You see some
this
scientists
mission.
and stuff in Halo 3 as well.
And you just have to be okay with that. And I think and they even tell you that, like, you can't save everybody. Sorry. You have to do the best you can. Once you kind of realize that that's the case and are okay with a bunch of the civilians dying, then I feel like you can kind of go about your business and complete the mission with success.
Well, and the Sword Elites, like, will totally fuck them up, too.
Oh, yeah. They take
like,
them out.
crazy.
And they're ruthless.
Yeah, they just stab them.
And they'll just go up to anything, those things. Like,
oh my god,
Cobra that I
warthogs
talked
and
about.
shit.
Yeah, the Cobra, because the Cobra can't defend itself when it's in lockdown mode. So I had a Sword Elite just taking that thing out, just swiping its sword, and I was like, oh crap, I had to build a quick Warthog to go send up to take it out. Yeah, very, very intense mission, for sure. But it's good. I think it's good that we're getting this experience on the front end of the campaign, too. It's like, okay, you need to be efficient at this. That's what this RTS is all about. All right. Let's see. Any trivia? We did lose David. He had to step away, so apologies for that. Let's see here. Trivia. Some of the footage of the cameras viewing the battle aboard the Spirit of Fire in the opening cutscene of this level are part of the 5 years long cinematic trailer, as well as the opening cinematic of the game. He mentioned already, there are 6 Hornets on easy and normal, and there's only 4 on the heroic and legendary. So that's definitely a difficulty modifier.
That sucks.
Yeah. But do definitely, and I think David mentioned this too, is the veterancy really comes in handy. If you can keep those
keep them alive.
Those guys wreck shop towards the end. At the northwest corner of the map, the Covenant have a fully upgraded base. Northeast corner, yep. Protected by numerous vehicles and aircraft. It's not mandatory to destroy the base. Yep, we've talked about that. Editors of the official Xbox magazine were invited to play the first 5 campaign missions of the game, but only revealed the name of this mission, stating it to be their favorite. Oh, okay. They mentioned this mission is also a good showcase for Halo Wars cooperative mode. Oh yeah, we haven't talked about that, but you can do co-op on this. Did you know that?
You can, yeah.
Yeah, have you ever tried it?
No. I don't trust anyone.
It sounds wild. I mean, we should try to do it before the end of the campaign.
Just to see. We'll have to do this mission because it's such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, right. It would be nice to have some help. There. So the last one is there is a hidden console. Okay, we talked about him, so that was the last one.
Yay!
Very nice. What's that black box? So that black box is right by Adam. What's the black box have to say?
It says July 20th, 2520, Captain Alexander, the last civilian of the Spirit of Fire, retires from active duty at the conclusion of the Vernant mission. The ship is requisitioned by the UNSC and is scheduled for refit. So just kind of early history of the Spirit of Fire.
Yeah, I like that. little background on Spirit Fire, which is good. We talked about the red team. I think we're going to dive into red team a little more in the next mission, where we can actually do things with them. And they're like, I don't think all of them get names in this mission. I think Jerome does. He pops on the comm and chats with you, but I don't think the other two even get named when you mouse over them.
Yeah.
Or try to select them. So we'll talk about them a little bit more next mission. Anything else to add before we do community?
Nope. I think that's about it.
Cool. Let's do community, and I will take over Facebook.
What?
I will do it. And my pop culture knowledge, my music and pop culture knowledge has just diminished over the last 10 years. So I apologize if I do not know all these. If you're throwing out references. Oh, so let me read the question. Give Red Team a theme song. Question for Mission Debrief. Halo Wars, Arcadia Mission, Colin Perkins, admin, January 27th.
No, you get to do it.
At 9:40 a.m. Yeah, so I'm not going to get all of these, and I'm a big heavy metal guy, and some of these songs were heavy metal, so I was like, oh man, I wish you really know this. Or like even there's some death metal mentions in here as well. But the first one comes from Ian Francis, we know him, and it's red instead of blue. Remember the song Blue Da Ba Dee?
Oh, yeah.
There's one that's red, and it's it's actually pretty funny. It's the song, and then it's some weird. The video on YouTube that he posted it's of like Mario and Luigi all in like red, some weird animation going on. And all it is a voiceover. Anytime the song says blue, a voiceover will cut in and say red.
Oh, I love those. Those are really funny, actually.
Very good.
I love those ones.
Yeah, you should check that out. Manny Bautista says, why can't we be friends? But he says, why can we be friends? That must be
Oh.
For the Covenant and Flood by Pantera for obviously the Flood, which anyway, Lucas Fitzer says, shoot to thrill. AC/DC. Love that one. Very good one. Sabrina says, tripod. Fly So High. You need to go to the Facebook group and watch a couple of these. This one is very funny. It's like a sketch comedy of a trio singing, and somebody gets killed by a rocket launcher. It's very good.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. Jesse White says, Mama said knock you out. That's
Yep.
good. Matthew Blankenship, Big Iron, which reminds me of like playing Fallout. Do you know that song?
Yeah.
It's totally a Fallout
with a big
song.
iron on his head.
Yeah, very good. We'll try to get David to do some music stuff, but we may not be able to. So
copyright
apologies.
issues. Yeah.
Right. Brad Tharp says Near Automata, a beautiful song, and it's a metal cover that he posted in the Facebook group. Very good. Patrick says Lamb of God 512, which is like the death metal that's heavy. And the video is also very interesting. And then Randy Peterson, the final one is, and this one's up my alley, is Bulls on Parade, Rage Against the Machine. Yes. Love it. All right, what does the Discord have to say?
Oh, you don't want to know, but
you have some weeding to do. I looked in that today. I was like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah, we got Party Hard by Andrew WK.
Mm-hmm.
We have STFU by Filthy Frank.
Yeah, I saw that video. I was like, what is this?
Shut the fuck up. You're a fucking cunt. It's really good. I love it. That's a funny song. Into the Fire by Asking Alexandria. Badass by Saliva. Figure It Out by Royal Blood.
I know that one. That's good.
People Ship by Slipknot.
Yeah, heavy metal stuff.
End of the World as We Know It.
That's good.
Oh, now they're just talking about shit. Why? Oh, the Red Team suite. So, just the sweet theme of Red Team from Halo Wars 2. So,
oh, sure. It's like
cheater.
The song is named that, right?
Yeah, cheater. He instead, Physical Sky said Lightning Strike by Judas Priest.
There you go. Nice.
Dizzy Bumper says the Halo theme in Kazoo. Very good.
Yeah. If you're a Podcast Evolved listener, that one is played.
Oh, God. Headlong by Queen. Alright, Blue Calyx has posted something that is not in this language, and it's This isn't gonna be good, guys. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get in trouble for this or not. Jamie Y. Los Chamancos? It was made the year I was born, 1995, so
Okay.
good. And then we got a lot of the Warthog theme from Red vs. Blue, so Jedi Spartan 38 suggested that one.
Nice.
Very good. There we go. We got a bunch of... Red Team has a nice selection of theme songs to choose from now.
They can pick.
Yeah.
Can choose from this selection. Very nice. Thank you for your thanks for your notes and your ideas. And if you are part of the groups, go in and check out the videos. It's fun to see some of the ridiculous ones that I didn't know existed. All right, that'll do it for our debriefing of Arcadia City, a mission from Halo Wars. On the next episode, we'll be covering Arcadia Outskirts. Send us your thoughts at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved on Twitter. You can also support the show by visiting Podcast Evolved on Patreon. Until next time, evolve.
Evolve!